I have yet another box of movies to open up. It's September, so going to be giving a lot of gifts to myself and maybe receiving some. So here's another box, yet again, for me to open, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. So here it is. I'm getting much better at this cutting thing. Alright. So this one is from, there was an MVD sale. MVD is like a distribution company, and they have several companies that they work with. And I did another video not too long ago where they were selling off a bunch of Wild Eye releasing movies, and those sucked big time. I think I watched 2 or 3 of them, and I think Evil Cat was pretty good, but the rest of them were pretty not great. But this time around, they are selling a bunch of Blue Underground DVDs, and Blue Underground is always a company that I really, really like, and I have a few of them right here. Like, this is the original Django with Franco Nero, and it's just a great DVD with great special features on it and everything. So they're a very good company, and so I got a bunch of DVDs because they are selling their DVDs for like $3 a piece, and they have great films. So I got, looks like 5 movies, and I'm just going to start with the first one. This is Lucio Fulci's Manhattan Baby, and it's just got a great cover right there, just really beautiful and dark and creepy. A young girl on vacation in Egypt is given a mysterious charm, causing her archaeologist father to be struck blind inside an unexplored pyramid tomb. But when the family returns home to Manhattan, a plague of supernatural evil and sudden violence follows. Can this ancient curse be stopped before it is unleashed on the streets of New York City? Italian shock master Lucio Fulci combines elements of The Exorcist, The Awakening, Poltergeist. So all 3 of those are combined in this one movie. And more in this bizarre horror thriller, also known as Eye of the Evil Dead and The Possessed. Manhattan Baby is notable as one of Fulci's final films to be released in America. And it looks like it's got Beyond the Living Dead interview with co-writer Dardano Sacchetti. So this looks very good. So that's number 1. Here is another, speaking of Franco Nero, here is a film that I've always looked at, and it looks very intense because it's got the guy from The Last House on the Left. I can't remember his name. Oh, God. It doesn't say. David Hess, who also directed, I think, at least one movie that I have, and it's called Hitchhike. So you can kind of tell from the cover that it's probably a guy gets picked up because he's hitchhiking and probably terrorizes this couple because he's looking pissed off and she's not looking too happy either. But yeah, it just looks like a great sleazy 70s movie, and right up my alley. So while on a cross-country drive, a bitter writer, international superstar Franco Nero of Django, and his beautiful wife, the stunning Corinne Clary of The Story of O and Moonraker, pick up a stranded motorist, the one and only David Hess of Last House on the Left, infamy. But when the hitchhiker turns out to be a depraved psychopath, of course he is, their road trip takes a vicious detour into sex and savagery where the miles are marked in mayhem and vengeance is the ultimate rule of thumb. That's great. Barely released theatrically in America, Hitchhike has been called one of the greatest exploitation films no one has ever seen. Co-writer-director Pasquale Festa Campagnale, director of When Women Had Tails, and an Oscar nominee for The 4 Days of Naples, packs this outstanding sleaze epic with wild performances, extreme violence, and some very nasty surprises, all set to a remarkable score by Ennio Morricone, and presented totally uncut and uncensored. And it's got interviews with Franco Nero, Corinne Cleary, and David Hess. So, looks fun and terrible and scary. And yeah, looks great. Okay, next. Another, I think that was an Italian movie, I believe, but this is another Italian classic from a master. This one's called Shock by Mario Bava. And I've never seen this one, but I've seen it in like collections and stuff like that, and it looks very good. And it's also got Daria Nicolodi, who co-wrote Suspiria and was in like most of Dario Argento's films. When a family moves into a home with a shocking secret, their lives become a nightmare of homicidal hallucinations as their young son begins to communicate with the spirits of the dead, remodeled in madness, and painted in blood. They soon discover that domestic bliss can be murder when home is where the horror is. Released in America under the title Beyond the Door 2, Shock is the final feature film directed by legendary horror maestro Mario Bava. Black Sunday, Twitch of the Death Nerve, Daria Nicolodi, Deep Red Phenomena, and John Steiner star in this Euro horror favorite, now restored from the original negative materials for the first time ever. And it has an interview with assistant director Lamberto Bava, who directed Demons, which is one of my favorite movies. I have a lot of favorite movies, but yeah, that looks great. It just looks really fun. So the next two are connected, and they're part of Armando de Osorio's trilogy, I think. I think there were three of them. There might have been more, but it was his Blind Dead collection. So I don't know if it's a trilogy. It might be more than that, but I'm not sure what order these go in. But I guess I'll look at the dates. Okay, so this one came out in 1973. This is Return of the Evil Dead. And no, it has nothing to do with Sam Raimi's Bruce Campbell film. But yes, this is about, from what I remember, because I used to find at least one of these in every one of those 25 to 50 horror movie packs. They would be shoved in there somewhere. And I watched them. And I believe the Blind Dead are a group of formerly Knights of the Templar. And they're just cursed to be dead, the Walking Dead, and kill people. So, have you heard your heart beating? Sometimes. In this second startling film in the Blind Dead series, okay, so this is the second one, Armando de Osorio returns to the horrific origin of the depraved Templar heretic knights whose eyes were burned out by medieval vigilantes to prevent them from finding their way back from hell. Now, in the 500th anniversary of their execution, the blind horsemen rise from their tomb to wreak bloody revenge on the town that condemned them. Tony Kendall, Frank Brana, and Lone Fleming star in this chilling sequel that rocked the Euro horror genre. This definitive edition of Return of the Evil Dead contains both the original English version and the uncensored Spanish version, both fully restored from the original vault materials and remastered in heart-stopping definition. So there's that, Return of the Evil Dead. And then there is The Ghost Galleon, which I think is the third. The blind dead return to hunt tender flesh on the high seas. In what many fans consider the most surprising of the four films in the series, Maria Pesci and Jack Taylor star in writer-director Armando de Osorio's chilling tale about a boatload of stranded swimsuit models who discover a mysterious ghost ship. But this phantom galleon carries the coffins of the satanic Templar, eyeless zombies who hunt humans by sound. Even if these frightened lovelies can survive their own forbidden desires, will they escape the insatiable hunger of the blind dead? This definitive edition of the Ghost Galleon, released in America as Horror of the Zombies, has been restored and remastered in high definition and includes both the original English and Spanish language tracks, plus vintage trailers, TV spots, and more. So there's that again. This one sounds a little bit more exciting, so I'm excited for all of them. But that's it. That's the whole box. Thank you for watching yet again, and I'll see you next time.